when a quarterback first comes into the league and they're on their rookie deal and they're making $900,000, and you can put the monsters all around him. But eventually, with your quarterbacks, if he's halfway decent, you have to pay him. That takes away from what you can put around him. That elite offensive lineman, that elite wide receiver, that elite defensive player, that elite, those other elite type pieces. So now you have to start looking. You look at a player like Joe Burrow, coming to the league on his rookie deal. You got Jamar Chase, you got Tyler Boyd, you got T. Higgins. Well, now you're at the point with Joe Burrow. Oh, now T. Higgins, he feels like I'm one of the best receivers in the league. And you have to think of the salary cap as like a pie. And you have to divide that pie up with 53 guys. Okay? So your quarterback has got to be that guy, because once he is off of that rookie contract, not making $900,000, not being Mr. Irrelevant, or in Dak Prescott's case, a 4th round pick, he's got to be that guy. You can't just keep throwing money. It's like in Vegas. You keep doing the slot machines, You keep restructuring contracts. Well, just like in anything, restructuring a contract is like a credit card. Guess what? Eventually the bill comes due. You can keep pushing that money back. So that's why the Cowboys are sitting at $59 million this year. Dak Prescott signed a 4-year, $160 million deal, and they kept pushing the money back. Now you're in the last year of the deal. You cannot franchise tag him. He has a no trade clause. So you have to think in the terms of Derek Carr with his last year with the Raiders, and it's like, okay, well, we got a trade offer. Well, I don't want to go there. I'm not trying to help you at all. I'm on the last year of my deal. Y'all don't want me here. I'm not trying to do anything I can to help you. So it's at that point now. Dak Prescott, when he gets to the open market, he'll probably make a lot of money, because a lot of teams are starving out there. We've seen Kirk Cousins robbing people from the Vikings to the Commanders, and now he's robbing the Atlanta Falcons. Look, it's hard finding quarterbacks. We're going to probably see about 6 of them go in the first round this year. So that's what it is. So Dak Prescott, they're finally to the point with him. Look, I can't keep paying you 55. I can't pay you $55-60 million, and you're 2-5 in the playoffs. I don't care that you're 12-5 in the past 3 seasons. I need to see postseason success. So that's just where we are now.
All right, go ahead, C.
All right, here's where I am with it, man. All right, you let Dak walk, and then what? Like, that's my only question. I'm never opposed to letting a player walk if they haven't been producing for you. If there is a better solution, who you gonna look to next? Trey Lance? Or you gonna go to the draft?
What pick in the draft? What pick in the draft was Trey Lance?
He was the third pick.
He was the first round pick.
He was the third pick.
He was the number 3 overall pick. So look at it this way. Trey Lance was in the same draft as Micah Parsons in the 2021 draft. Now, if I would have told you that in the 2021 draft that the Dallas Cowboys selected Trey Lance at 3 and Micah Parsons at 12, what grade would you give the Cowboys as far as their draft?
I give them a strong B or A. I definitely.
That's what it is. But the thing is, you got the number 3 overall pick that you got for a 4th round pick. That's how you have to think of it.
I get that, but we've seen him. We've seen his work. We've seen Trey Lance get beat out, and shipped off. You know what I mean? I don't think he's that guy. He's not that guy that I'm going to replace Dak Prescott with. Dak has given you 12 wins. He's led you to the playoffs. Dak's been he's been a very good quarterback. He's been a very good quarterback. And all of those playoff losses aren't on him. So, I mean, his success in the playoffs, he could be better, but I wouldn't give all the blame on him. So, surrounding him, like you said, with the monsters is impossible now because of the money that he's demanding. But that means you have to, as a GM, you have to find a way to put better players around him. And like you said, that good quarterbacks, they're not just growing on trees. Everybody didn't have one. They're going to be 5 selected in the first round.
I want to respond to that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When Dak Prescott came into the league, he had 3 first-round offensive linemen. He had Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith, and these guys in their prime, and Zach Martin. They had 3 first-round picks. You have a future Hall of Fame tight end in Jason Witten. You had a first-round pick wide receiver in Dez Bryant. Then they go out and give up another first-round pick to give you Amari Cooper. Then they go spend another first-round pick and give you CeeDee Lamb. Okay? And then they give you a first-round pick running back, the number 4 overall pick, in Ezekiel Elliott. They give a first-round pick. They go out and go get you a shutdown corner. You got three future Hall of Famers on your offensive line, and you still can't win. Am I missing something there?
I get it. I get it. But you also have Fred Flintstone coaching them. So I mean,
wow.
You got to think about that, man. I know. As you said, I'm sure you have you ever coached alphabets?
I have.
Okay, so if you get a player and you see how talented this player is, you think that you can make, but he has like subtle flaws. Would you say, I don't want that player? I know how talented he is, but I don't want that player because he got these little flaws. Or would you say, look, I can help him with those little flaws, and he can help my team win?
I got you on that, but here's the difference. I have to give you $60 million. That's the difference right there. If I'm getting the same results, then I'm going to go and start from scratch. I'm going to roll with Trey Lance. And you know what I'm going to do with Trey Lance? Because he's not making a lot of money. I'm going to surround Trey Lance with the Monstars. Now, you also said that, we've seen Trey Lance. Trey Lance was a developmental type quarterback. He was not meant – I don't think that first off, I don't think he should have went number 3 overall. I don't think when he went number 3 overall over Justin Fields and Mac Jones and those cats, I thought that was a bit of a reach. You have some guys, we talked about it last week as far as guys that need to come in and sit down behind somebody and learn. But when you're the number 3 overall pick, guess what? You don't get to do that. Right now, Trey Lance is getting to sit and develop. There's no pressure on him. You go out and you put a whole bunch around him while he's not making a lot of money, but I cannot continue to give you $50-60 million and you get blown out in the first round every year in the playoffs. I just can't do it.
Go ahead, Yvonne.
Okay. So Amari Cooper said it about Dak once he got traded from the Cowboys, and I think he said it well. Dak Prescott is the black Kirk Cousins. They are on the same level. I think if we rank all 32 starting quarterbacks, I think Kirk and Dak are like 10, 11, somewhere around there. And I honestly think when you're 10, 11, I think teams will give you enough time because that means you're a viable starting quarterback. But I think they give you enough time, and they've given him enough time. This year coming up will be his 9th year, just like Cousins had, I want to say, 6 years in Minnesota. I think Cousins hit his peak in Minnesota, and I think Dak's hit his peak in Dallas. I really don't think – I think the furthest he could take him is the NFC title game, and he hasn't done that yet. I can't see them win the Super Bowl with them because, like I said, I think he's the 10th, 11th best quarterback. Now, see, you did say a good point. Like, what do you do? I think what the Cowboys should do, because I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this up and coming year. At best, I think NFC title game. At best. I think what Jerry should do is let Dak walk and literally trade and give up the house for the first pick and go get Deion's son, Shadur Sanders. Because he loves Deion. Deion loves him. They played for Dallas. Deion wants his son in the best situation possible. Jerry's going to want an ex-Cowboy dad in there. I think it's the perfect fit, and it's also that box office move that Jerry's just dying for. So now Trey Lance, we can see. The Cowboys see him every day. Maybe he improves, and maybe they roll with Trey Lance. My thing is just I think this is a good decision by Dallas because I think he's hit his peak in Dallas. I can't see Dak at this stage at 31 years old getting better. He's had really good teams around him. You know, he even this team he's got right around him right now. They were the 2 seed this year, and they lost to Green Bay. Now that loss wasn't all on him, but even if they get further, I don't think they're beating San Francisco, and they're as sure as hell not beating Kansas City in the Super Bowl. So I think Dallas has hit its peak with the Dak. This is a good decision. Give him one more year. Let him walk. Get Shadur Sanders or start fresh with Trey Lance. I just think after 9 years, you got to try something different.
I actually like what Alphabet said. Now, if you let him walk and you put the Monstars around Trey Lance and see how that works, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I just don't think that. I think that Dak is a victim of circumstances in coaching. I think that he hadn't had the right coach, and Dallas is just I don't know if they cursed or what it is.
Part of it too is look, this is just the reality that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge. Most teams, most of your Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, guess what rounds they were picked in? The first or second rounds. Dallas has been very fortunate in the past 20 years to get 2 quarterbacks, one Tony Romo, undrafted free agent, and Dak Prescott, a 4th round pick. Your elite quarterbacks, they're generally 1st round picks. Even your terrible teams, guess what? They got a 1st round pick. And the sooner that you find out that a guy is not your quarterback, we've seen teams even recently reset quickly. Philadelphia Eagles, they drafted Carson Wentz number 2 overall. He ain't the guy. Get rid of him. Let's go get this guy. Trey Lance, he was not the guy. Okay, let's reset. Let's go get Brock Purdy. You can't just keep sitting there and throwing money after money after the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson has all his legal problems. He was a 1st round pick. Get rid of him. Let's get as much as you can.
Everybody thought that was crazy.
You can't just say, "Well, we're scared." Yes, you're gonna be terrible, and that's part of why you end up just being mediocre because you're never terrible enough. At 12-5, you're picking in the 20s. You're not going to be able to get one of those elite quarterback prospects there. So it's almost a gift and a curse because you're still good and you feel good. Oh, we're 12-5, we're 12-5, we're 12-5. And then you go to the playoffs and get your teeth kicked in, and now you're picking too high, so you can't draft one of the high quarterbacks. So eventually you just have to be like, okay, he's not our guy. You have to reset.
As far as Dak Prescott goes, I've had a love and hate relationship with him, with me being a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. I don't think it's time. I think it's the right decision to do because you're applying pressure on Dak right now because they're saying, "Hey, we're not working out no extension with you. You gotta show us now. You got to deliver us now after what has happened. Sure, you had 12, 3 straight 12 win seasons. That's great. You probably had your best statistical year to date offensively. You were nearly had the chance to win MVP. In 2022, he led the league in interceptions. Following back the following year, he ends up leading the league in touchdowns. So he's had a good season, but with when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, people set the expectations really high, and I don't believe in no reset when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't believe in a reset at all. If there was a better alternative option outside of Dak Prescott, I would say yeah, let him walk because he hasn't took us to the promised land. No NFC championship over like 30, about to be 30 years, or it is 30 years, and no NFC championship game. Like, come on, man. Like you've seen a lot of these quarterbacks out here has been to at least an NFC championship game. At least Lamar Jackson, despite whatever you want to say about him, he's been to an NFC championship game. guys been in the league earlier than him. Joe Burrow, Jalen
Case
Hurts.
Keenum went to one and lost to Nick Foles.
I mean, freaking Brock Purdy for crying out loud too. So it's like, it's like. I
You
mean,
like Brock Purdy.
yeah, I
Right.
do. I do. If I had the chance to get him, I'll take him. I'll take him as a Dallas Cowboys quarterback right now.
Mhm.
Would you take him for
I
60
will
million
say-
a year?
Yeah,
Because
I
that's what
probably
he's gonna.
would.
That's what he's gonna get
Wait,
paid.
wait, hold on. All right, now, okay, we got Truex and Sports Junkie. Before I let him go, but I think it's the right decision though. I think the Cowboys are going to end up re-signing Dak Prescott though. I think it's just a chess move and they're just applying pressure on him. I would be surprised if he walks and he doesn't work out any type of extension at all because as far as Shador Sanders and any guys that's coming in the draft next year, I don't see any of those guys as a franchise quarterback. And Dak Prescott for me is just a guy that I'm gonna see him always as a Dallas Cowboy. And I just don't see Dak Prescott going anywhere else outside of Dallas Cowboys. And I expect him to get an extension done and re-sign it. I mean, I think people are making it seem like, okay, this is his last year. This is the last dance. This is the end of the era. It's actually not. They never say they're not going to re-sign them. They're just saying, as of right now, it ain't going to happen. And I'm saying what C said. He said, "What's better than Dak Prescott that's out there right now?" And I think the plan is to re-sign Dak Prescott. But go ahead, X. What's your thoughts? What is this a good idea with what the Cowboys are doing? Not uh agreeing to extension with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
There's no reason to rush. There's no reason to rush. I mean, we've seen what Dak has done when it comes to the postseason. No reason to rush. Here's his chance this year to do something. He's not going nowhere this year. If he goes out there and wins, they'll extend him. They'll sign him. If he doesn't, they're going to look hard into this draft. I truly believe that because he's had the talent around him. We're not going to sit here and act like the Cowboys are in a talented roster. They don't have a talented roster. We understand that they're very talented. And if you can't win with that roster, you know, they've pointed the finger at the coach. They've made moves. They pointed the finger because Zeke was doing this getting older, making the excuses for everybody. Well, now it's time for Dak to step up. I think this is the year. It's either make or break for him. If he doesn't come out and ball out, they'll move on from him.
Yeah.
Here's the other mitigating circumstances you have to take with that too. You cannot franchise tag him. Okay, so if he has a good year this year, let's say he does have a good, you can't franchise tag him. Also, he has a no trade clause. That's the sticky part there because it's like, oh, well, we got a deal. Somebody's offering us 3 first-round picks for you. Well, yeah, I don't want to go there, so no. And there's nothing you can do about it. Right now, he holds all the leverage.